on blast.
And we are live. Late night, West Coast action.
West Coast trip.
Fourth game of the 4-game road trip for the Toronto Raptors on the West Coast. And you know what? Things went well for our Toronto Raptors.
That they did.
114-105. Toronto Raptors are the winners. And you know what? There's a great stat I just want to give before we get to the pleasantries.
Give it.
Right off the bat, Toronto Raptors. This from Josh Lewenberg. The Raptors have been on 38 West Coast road trips of 4 games or more in their 24-year franchise history. This is the first time they've swept one. Your Toronto Raptors. Again, my name is Sheldon Alexander, and this is the Wrap It Up Ball on Blast Raps post-game show. I'm joined here with my guy, Mikey. Mikey, what's going on, man?
Just glad this West Coast trip is over. 4-0. We celebrate just like I bet the Raptors are probably doing right now as they got the flight home delayed till tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's a reason to celebrate. 4-0. That's a big win. Big win for today.
Huge win for the Toronto Raptors. And again, 114-105. Raptors improved to a franchise best record, 11-1. Does that seem like real life?
No.
11-1 Toronto Raptors. Raptors remain. Kawhi Leonard in a Raptors uniform is undefeated.
Yeah.
It's good to be a Toronto Raptors fan right now. It's good to be a Toronto Raptors player right now.
It's great to be a Toronto Raptors fan.
I see what you did there. And I'm with you. So, first things first. Head into Sacramento. It's easy to say, this is a tough trip. We're at the very end of it. Sacramento came out gunning. Sacramento came out nice.
Yeah.
And Sacramento's a team that also came in playing at the top pace in the NBA.
6-4, I think.
Yeah, they're playing nice, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're third in the league in fast break points.
Yeah.
They came in playing with the top pace of play in the NBA. This wasn't going to be an easy game for the Toronto Raptors. No. And the way that the first quarter started, Sacramento came out nice, no?
Yeah, they came out firing and they jumped out to a quick early lead, 9 points, and it seemed that the Raptors were kind of playing to their level in the first quarter, and it was kind of like that playground fast-paced ball. And Sacramento, like you said, they're good at that. That's kind of what they do. They got a lot of first and second year and third year players, not too many veterans. Yeah. And they held their pace for the first quarter, and then the second quarter and the third and fourth. Completely different.
It was really crazy just how good Sacramento looked off the front end, and they kind of caught the Raptors sleeping. The Raptors were turning the ball over. I think they had like 5 quick turnovers early in the first quarter, and it was interesting because I got to give Nick Nurse a lot of credit, and I know we're going to continue to do this, and it sounds like an thing to do, but just pay attention to the way that he manages his bench, right? So the way that this game started, De'Aaron Fox deserves a shout out because he came out and he was trying to lock down Kyle Lowry early.
He stuck on him tight.
Right? He's guarding him.
He didn't give him a lot of room,
He's guarding him full court. He's up in his grill. And Kyle Lowry had a bit of trouble early. There were a lot of turnovers early.
Yep. He had more turnovers than assists at one point.
Definitely.
Actually, I think
they finished the game. Yeah, they finished the game. Or actually, Kyle Lowry might have had some nope, you're right. Yeah. They finished the game with 21 turnovers and 17 assists.
Yeah.
So that's a credit to the defense that was being played by Sacramento Kings. They tried to come out and play that tone early.
Yes.
And they were even like playing some press. You saw them like double team in the backcourt. You don't really see many NBA teams do that.
No, it was a big game for them. You gotta. I guess we're not really used to it that much. That the Raptors are a big game for opposing teams.
Yeah.
I mean, when we had the 61 season and all that, you would come in, but again, the narrative was, okay, regular season, whoop-de, what do they do in the playoffs? And yet the playoffs for this team is unknown yet. The way it's going with the record, I mean, it's them and Golden State. Golden State in the West, and in the East, when you're as good as the Raptors are doing, the opposing team is going to mark that on the calendar.
Definitely.
And they did today, and Sacramento came out and De'Aaron Fox, it seemed, Kyle Lowry's one of the early season bright spots.
Yeah,
not only on Toronto but in the NBA, and I think it was a big test for him too in his second year to try and guard fast-paced Kyle. He did a pretty
an
good job.
all-star, right?
Yeah.
Like as a young rookie, these are the games where you get a chance to prove yourself, right? You can say you went at an all-star in the league.
Back and forth with him, and he
Yeah.
did.
That's how it started. But then Kyle Lowry did a little like veteran move type
Yeah.
things. He got a couple cheap fouls on Fox
got him a
early,
little
which forced him out of the
frustrated.
game, right? And then credit to Nick Nurse, as I was saying before. Nick Nurse decides, hey, we're turning over the ball a lot. Let me bring in Freddie.
Yeah.
So we have a second ball handler out there, even a third if you include Pascal. And that kind of settled things down for the Raptors, right?
Yeah.
Kyle Lowry does what he does. He drives, gets Fox out of the game. Then, he goes back to setting people up, getting good jump shots. He got into the lane, hit a little floater. Oh, no, he hit the jump shot and one that he got up when Frank Mason the third was guarding him, right? And Kyle Lowry just did enough to keep the Raptors in the game in that first quarter. And, again, they had 6 turnovers, and yet they led 29-26 after one.
Yeah.
How many times while we were watching this game did I say to you, wait a second, the Raptors are up by how much?
Yeah,
it was so weird. It was a weird game.
It was a sloppy game. But to go to what you said about Nick Nurse and the way he handled his lineup, and I even said this too, I said I wanted to see Van Fleet get a lot more minutes because you got to run a lot more ball from because Kyle's just getting tons of minutes and playing his heart out. And Van Fleet finished with, I think, 21 minutes. Kyle was 35. Yeah. So Van Fleet played the majority of his minutes in that second quarter and when you give Kyle a little bit of rest. And then when it came to the final push, Kyle was on for most of it.
Because that's the thing, right? Not only Kyle Lowry playing a bulk of the minutes, but Kyle Lowry's playing hard minutes. Again, you're not used to being guarded full court in the NBA, and De'Aaron Fox was making him work the ball up the floor each time.
Yeah.
And so that's where the importance of a guy like Pascal helps, where he was able to bring the ball up sometimes, right? Same thing when you bring in Freddie Van Fleet. It was just a very interesting game for the Toronto Raptors and Kyle Lowry especially because it kind of embodied what Kyle Lowry was kind of like how the Raptors won this game. They really gutted this win out. And it was really a game that, you mentioned it, certain points last year or years past.
Oh, yeah.
This might have been a game the Raptors lose, right?
Might have, would have. Yeah, that was one. That's the one of the I kept saying to you. If this and that again, I don't want to go to the DeMar DeRozan Raptors, but the Raptors of previous. Yeah, this is definitely the game. The last game on the road. They're 3-0, 10-1.
They can
kind of get complacent and that the first punch would kind of back them up a bit, and they would let Sacramento get to an even bigger lead than. I think the most might have been 8.
Yeah.
And Toronto came back and handled it. It was a big win. It was good to see. And Kawhi's doing it so quietly. He's putting up big numbers, but so quietly. Like you said, it kind of seems like he's the sub in some sense. Yeah. And just because you notice him so much, but so quietly, and while Kyle's really
controlling everything.
Yeah, right?
Kyle's in control of everything.
It's a perfect blend.
And then you see Kawhi in spurts, just like take over in little spurts.
Yeah,
and that's what solidifies the game.
Yeah.
Plus,
he hadn't played the other 2 games too, so
he's got some energy.
Exactly.
You better come out with some energy,
exactly.
Right? I got so hyped to start this podcast. I didn't even say what's up to the people that are in the Instagram group. Hello to everyone watching right now on Instagram at Sheldon Alexander. I see you there, waving at you guys. Send in questions.
Q, what up?
Send in questions, comments, whatever. If you want to ask us something or just make a point of what you liked in the game, who you think was the MVP, let us know. And again, shout out to all the people that are watching this live on Instagram or on Twitter, where you can find each and every Wrap It Up post-game show live right after the Raptors wins.
Yeah,
because we're getting used to doing this after Raptors wins.
I feel like we're the good luck charm.
Hey, I don't know.
Yeah.
At Shell Alexander, of course, is where you can find that after each and every Raptors game. And if you see that link, you see the video playing, just click on that. Another box pops up, and you can see there's a chat on the side. You can ask us questions, make some comments. I see my guy Terry Two Shots in the comments, and he says, Kyle is in man shape.
He is. He is. He is. He's not fat little Kyle no more.
Kyle is doing work.
He's putting in work. He's going hard this year.
Another comment here says, Steady Freddy's second best handle in the league behind Kyrie. Don't at me. So again, shout out to all the commenters. We will read your comments. Thanks for joining us. I didn't get through all the pleasantries. And again, of course, if you're listening to this live, shout out to you. Join the show. And if not, we got you covered for your commute. Obviously, people, Eastern time, it's what, 12:46 right now in the morning. So
late night work.
But we wrap this up for you, pardon the pun, and it becomes a podcast that you can find on iTunes and SoundCloud, Google Play, and of course the videos on YouTube. Shout out to the people that end up watching.
The YouTube community.
Shout out to the people that end up watching on YouTube at work the next day. Shout out. Someone did send me a message saying, I do end up watching at work. I said, thank you very much. We appreciate that. But yes, again, we're here for game 12 for your Toronto Raptors. A 114-105 victory. Raptors again improved to 11-1 on the season. I think it's pretty easy. The MVP of this game, the high scorer, Kawhi Leonard, finished with 25 points, 11 rebounds for Kawhi. What did you think of Kawhi's return to the lineup and just what he adds to this team?
It was smooth. He was great from the free throw line. A lot of the it seemed like there was a lot of technicals or flagrants, and
it was a weird game.
It was a really
weird whistles,
really weird sloppy game. And again, that's what I love. This we still came out on top, right? Like I'm sure they're tired. I'm sure they wanted to go home just as much as everybody. It seems
You're
like
dreaming of your bed.
It seems like we've been going on this road trip with them in the West Coast, and everybody too, but you guys too, all watching and staying up. I'm pretty sure everybody has to go to work tomorrow at 6, but. It's just you get drained, and they stood on top of it. Yeah, and Kawhi played amazing.
Kawhi did play amazing, and you know
quietly amazing again.
Pardon the pun.
Yeah.
Quietly amazing. Did you mean to do that?
No, I didn't.
I got you.
Yeah.
Do you know what the interesting part about Kawhi Leonard's game? And this is where, you have tough games on the road where you really have to battle it out and grind out a victory.
Yeah.
And that's when your superstars come in handy. And Sacramento, mad credit to them because they kept coming and coming and coming. And then all of a sudden, here comes Kawhi Leonard, hits a nice bucket. You can't stop it. Going to the rim, shuts down the run. And that's what you need from your star player. That's what you need from your MVP type player. It wasn't just that he led the team in scoring with 25. It's when he got the baskets.
Yeah.
And there were big baskets down the stretch
time.
in the fourth quarter. And Kawhi Leonard continues to do it. Again, Kawhi Leonard remains undefeated in a Toronto Raptors uniform. Raptors win, huge win. But as we move on to the X factor of the game, I think we can both agree that that's Pascal Siakam.
Yes, definitely.
What'd you make of Pascal? 21 points tonight, 8 of 11 shooting. Again, what was your nickname for him?
The Road Runner. And I said it just out of literally just what I thought of a few games ago when he just cuts in the middle.
Yeah.
And Kyle seems to find him. He's so quick.
He is.
And that spin move seems to be his signature move. And he's got this little spin move that he does, and rake goes to the back. He's very fast, very lengthy. And yeah, this was his, I don't want to say coming out party, but he solidified his spot as the permanent 4 of the Toronto Raptors.
Definitely. We talked about it a couple podcasts ago, right? Because Nick Nurse said the way that he put him in the starting lineup, but the way he's played since, you can't take him out. Right?
No.
So it's been interesting to see. And in the middle of this game, I turned to you at one point and I said, Pascal's
their third best player.
Yeah, he's the Raptors' third best player.
Even better than Ibaka?
Yes. I think as of right now, as we're watching he's the third most important guy.
And why did you say that? Because Ibaka, you can always take out.
You can always take out Ibaka, and you got JV. They got that dynamic going, right? If one doesn't have it, you can go to the other one. Whereas Siakam does so many things. And the other thing I want you guys to pay attention to as you're watching the Raps game is the minutes and how the great job that Nick Nurse does in terms of dividing up the minutes.
Yeah, we're talking.
We know that last year Siakam was such a key part of the bench mob.
Yes.
Even though he starts, the way they divide up the minutes, he still gets a big bulk of his minutes with the bench mob.
I was saying that too. The Nurse doesn't. Casey would sometimes, or a lot of coaches too, would take out the whole 5 and put in the whole 5 or 4 of the 5 and maybe leaving Kawhi or Kyle to run
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Where Nick Nurse will do a 3 and 2,
Yeah.
a 1 and 4, and there's always a starter or someone in there, and it's just they come at you with just everything. It's so perfect.
I feel like I found
coaching
that,
amazing.
Yeah, I feel like I found that most often than not, you'll find 2 of Kyle, Freddie, and Pascal on the floor.
Yeah.
Most often than not, you'll find 3 of those guys on the floor. And I think the reason why is those are your 3 playmakers, for lack of a better term, right? You can give them the ball and they're going to create a play either for themselves or someone else. Kawhi's a little different because Kawhi's just a closer. Like, he's getting you a bucket.
Exactly.
Can he find someone else? Yes, he definitely can. But that's when you want a bucket. If you just need someone to, like, shake things up, make a play, get a fast break
crowd's
going.
getting back into it,
Yes.
quiet them down a bit. Yeah, we have exactly. You'll either always have a solid 5 in JV or Ibaka. Then you'll have the quickness of Siakam was in there. Then you always have a great ball handler, whether it's Kyle, Van Fleet, or DeLon. Then you always have that defensive stopper. Is it OG or Kyle?
Just
then
the
you
way
have the
that it's
3-point
balanced.
shooter,
Oh,
Danny Green. It's like just they hit you with so many weapons.
Yeah.
And they all play their role like perfectly.
There's a great tweet that they put up during, I guess it was going from the 3rd quarter to the 4th quarter, and it's just kind of saying that moment. What do you call that moment when you're watching a Raptor game and you look up and then all of a sudden they're up by 10?
Yeah.
And J.E. Skeet said Wednesday. It's so true because you just watch how this team plays, and I looked at you how many times and I was like, wait, they're up 12? Like, when did that happen? And then you watch it. You watch how it takes place, and what I found was anytime Sacramento was making a run,
A push.
Kyle would make a play or Kawhi would make a play. And then
the Nurse would call it perfect timeout.
Exactly.
Is that what you're going to
yes,
say?
yes. That wasn't what I was going to say. But you are correct.
Yeah.
Nurse was very good with his timeouts
Perfect
in
with
this
it.
game.
As soon as he knew something, it
Yeah.
was 13. Now we're only up by 7.
Yeah.
Timeout. And it was perfect. And it got the
was
crowd
so
going.
good.
Full timeout. Wasn't much of a crowd there, but the crowd kind of got it
something,
going.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And then, boom, it'd be back right to 13 points again.
And, I mentioned earlier the scoring of Kawhi Leonard, right? And it's so much more about when he was getting the buckets.
Yeah.
Danny Green was kind of the same thing because there was a run made when the Raptors really took control of this game in the second quarter.
Second quarter, he
there's a
hit
bit of a run.
back-to-back threes.
Exactly. Back-to-back threes, and there's a that he's hit 2 or more threes in 10 of the 12 Raptor games this season.
Yeah.
That's great production from Danny Green, and especially now that we don't know how long CJ Miles is going to be out, but the 3-point shooting of Danny Green now becomes that much more important, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, there's no word on CJ Miles exactly.
I'm not sure how
It's
long
not like
out
he's really
for.
been hitting a shot,
No.
but Danny Green, like we said, has been playing the way he should be playing. That perfect spot and shoot guy. And he knows where to be at all times. He might not flirt with 20, 25 points every game, but he'll get you those perfect 10, 12, 13, from behind the field. And it makes the defense have to they can't just box in the middle, right?
Definitely.
They got to worry about somebody like Danny Green out there shooting 3.
But again, we mentioned like the back-to-back threes that Danny Green hit. He didn't shoot that well. He shot 2 of 10 from the field.
Yeah.
But again, it was when he hit those threes, it got the run going.
He made that was the big over 10 lead. Yeah.
And then the big thing to me is we touched on this on the last podcast, right? And I'm not knocking on DeMar DeRozan, and that's not what I'm trying to do because it's kind of the same thing with CJ
We
Miles.
love DeMar. We love DeMar.
Shouts to DeMar. DeMar is one of the best scorers around
hate,
in the
no.
league. So this isn't a knock on DeMar.
No, of course.
And I'm not knocking CJ Miles.
But it was DeMar's team, so that's what we mean.
For sure.
When we say that,
But
it's just difference in
when you look at the majority of the guys that the Raptors play, and I mean Ibaka, Siakam, Kawhi, Lowry, Danny Green, OG, Freddie, DeLon, right? All of those guys. I left out JV, but follow me for a second here. All of those guys, they can affect the game in multiple ways.
Yeah.
It's not like if they're not scoring, they're still playing defense. They're still in passing lanes. They're still getting rebounds. They're playing defense. Like, they're not just solely one-dimensional players.
stat fillers. Yeah.
Yeah, and so the thing with DeMar was if he wasn't scoring,
He definitely wasn't doing any defense.
yeah, and so it was almost like, well, why is he even on the floor
Yeah.
type
If
thing.
he doesn't score 27 to 30 points, then
Whereas-
his game would be pretty much a quiet game.
Definitely. While you can look at Danny Green and go, wait, he was 2 for 10, but he ends up a plus 11.
Yeah,
and you
3
see him.
assists and 3 steals. I think he had.
You
Yeah,
see him playing defense. You see him in
OG
passing
had a
lanes.
nice steal too.
OG, like when they decide that they want to defend, it's crazy watching this team, right?
Oh, yeah.
OG had another like
That
crazy
nice no look kind of steal that we were going. Oh yeah.
I
And
tweeted.
then it started.
Do they
started
lead?
the 2-on-1 back, and OG crammed it.
Ooh, yes, that was a
Yeah, that
nice
was a
dunk.
nice one.
That was a very nice
I
dunk.
want
by
OG to. The defense is superb, and it's going to keep
lights.
going. And that's what we need. But it'd be nice if OG can get his offensive game up a little bit more too.
He did. I think he was all right tonight. You know,
Yeah.
like he was all right tonight. And the thing is, you look at the Raptors, and in their last game, it was pretty key to see the balanced scoring attack that they
Yes.
had.
Yeah, you were
They
saying
had
the
like what
17.
4 guys I think had 17 points,
yeah.
and then Pascal had
That's got
16.
Yeah.
You look at the box score tonight, and you have what
Let's go through
6
it.
guys
Let's
in
see.
double figures,
Yeah.
right? So Kawhi's a high man at 25, Siakam with 21, Lowry with 16, Ibaka with 14, and then off the bench you got JV and OG giving you 11.
Ibaka with 14 rebounds too, quietly.
That's a massive
Yeah.
production that you're getting, and it's like it's so well spread out. But
Very,
again,
yeah.
look, you're talking about points and assists or points and rebounds. Like these guys are affecting the game in multiple
Mm-hmm. Yes,
ways, and
yeah.
that's what makes this team so good so far, right? And I'm gonna go here because I think I saw a bunch of comments here
Yep, let's see
in
what
the
they gotta say.
Periscope, and I see someone says. Pascal's spin moves are becoming infectious.
They are. He's
It's
so
true.
quick.
It's
I
so true.
I love that we just have that extra piece. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's gonna be big to have. What I think I called it already at the beginning of the year. I think he could be a one of the most improved.
Yeah.
Right. And to have that. It's huge. It's huge for the team.
So I want to get your opinion on something
Yeah.
because last time when I was on with Ola, we were talking about. I think it was with Ola, or maybe it was Q. This West Coast trip's been a blur for me.
I
I
know.
can't lie to you.
Yeah.
But
Well, you're with
one of them
Ola,
we
yes,
talked about.
last one, yeah.
We were talking about could the Raptors have 3 All-Stars in the All-Star game this year? And if so, I know this might sound like a stretch. Is that Pascal Siakam?
or Ibaka.
I know that sounds crazy.
Well, then
but it's
that-
like the way
this
that
is
these
what I
guys are
think.
going.
If Siakam makes it,
Mm-hmm.
which would be a sub, I think the Raptors would have 4.
Oh, okay.
Well, the East isn't anything. Listen, they're gonna have Oladipo. Cleveland doesn't have anybody, right?
No.
Boston's gonna have, I guess, Kyle,
Or
Kyrie. I mean,
yeah, for sure.
I mean, okay, there's the Greek freak there, so
But
they're
we've-
gonna
we've
need
seen
to
it
fill some
before.
people. Yeah, well, Golden State always has 4 or 5.
We've seen it before. If you have a really good record, I mean, we talked about the Atlanta Hawks had
Yeah,
like 3 guys,
exactly.
3 or 4
Who knows
guys
what a
make the
record's
All-Star
going to
team.
be by then? We could only have 5-6 losses, right? So Ibaka's playing at an all-star level right now.
So I bring that up because in Instagram here, I see a comment that says, "What do you think Pascal and OG ceilings are?"
Oh,
I don't-
Pascal.
I don't want to put a ceiling on
Yeah,
Pascal right
the
now.
sky's
This
the
is
limit for
crazy.
him. And like I said with OG, especially being mentored with Kawhi, like it's great for his defense,
Mm-hmm.
and he can get his offensive numbers up a little bit more. But like we noticed, I even said it to you when you just see Pascal Siakam jumping around and his arms are everywhere. He's just everywhere.
Yeah.
He's so energetic. I've for a big man like that, I've never seen a big man move that quick.
To me, the thing that's really cool about OG is that there's no pressure on OG
Yeah,
this
there's
year
not.
because now
Yeah.
that he's on the bench and you get to work with the bench mob, there's going to be more shots for you
Yep.
in that offense. But there's not the pressure of, when he was with the starters and especially last year with DeMar, basically you're standing in the corner and you have to hit that
Yeah,
shot.
you have to,
There's
yeah.
so much pressure on
That's
you
all you're
hitting
doing.
that shot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas now you get to play within an offense more,
Running,
right?
yeah,
You
be
can
the
run a
leader
little.
bit,
Yeah.
setting them up for next year. If
It's just super interesting the way that this team has been put together, the way this team is playing. And again, this was a game that could have gotten away from the Raptors early. And I felt like your stars, which is what happens in the NBA, your stars need to grind out wins for
Yeah.
you on the road. We saw that with the Raptors. And then the supporting cast did what they needed to do to kind of give the knockout blow to make this a double-digit lead. No?
yeah, when's the last time we heard of the Raptors going out and winning in Utah, which is a very tough place.
Well,
and then getting that Sacramento, getting it to LA,
Yeah.
4-0 people.
Well, for
The
people
West Coast trip, that's big.
people who might be joining the show late, we read this tweet earlier on, and this stat: the Raptors have been on 38 West Coast road trips of 4 games or more in their 24-year franchise history. This is the first time they've swept one. Raptors go 4-0 on this
Well
road trip.
deserved, too.
You look at these things and you would say before, if you come away with a split 2-2, you'd be happy with that.
That reminds me when me, you, and Dunlop,
what did we-
did
what did we- I don't
all
even remember.
said 3-1.
We did all say
We all
yes.
said
Thank
3-1.
you for remembering that.
And
'cause totally
I
forgot.
said I went a little bit of on a limb and said maybe 2 with that Sacramento game might be true because it's the end of the road trip.
Yeah.
But I said 3-1. You said 3-1. Dunlop said 3-1, and they're 4-0.
4-0.
Yeah.
We underestimated the Toronto
We all,
Raptors.
I think, we all agreed that the Utah game would be the toughest,
Yeah. And we learned a lot about this Toronto Raptors team.
and that was
Obviously,
without Kawhi too.
right?
2 of the games.
So this is the thing, because I feel like you get such an added boost because of the Kawhi Leonard factor in this game, right? Like, I don't know if you win this game without Kawhi Leonard. I don't know, because I want to give
he was a big factor.
he's a big factor, and I want to give a lot of credit
It would
to
be too much on Kyle.
to what the Kings did as well.
Oh yeah, they played
But
great.
it's just really crazy to see this team improve more and get better, and everyone kind of starting to get into their roles, right? And what's our thing? I feel like this is the thing that me and you talk about the most, right? The
men.
production from the big guys. And you said it earlier, Serge Ibaka, 14 points, 14 boards. JV off the bench, 11 and 10. Let's do some quick math, right? That's 25 and
points.
24.
Yep.
That's great production
That's
out of your 5
huge.
spot. That's
That's
massive.
Anthony Davis numbers almost.
In the split in minutes, 28 minutes for Serge, 20 minutes for JV. They're both because both of their minutes are down and they're by themselves,
Yeah.
when they're in there in the paint, you get to dominate the paint. They're so much more efficient because you're getting them in well-rested spurts, right?
And Ibaka hit a couple threes too.
Yo.
Most of his points were rated at the bucket, but I think he had
2 of 3
threes.
from
Yep.
3, and the thing
That's
that
what
I
you
find
want
with
one of your big mans to be able to do. JV almost tried to shoot one up. We were both like, no. He thought about it, and then he passed it.
the thing I find so interesting about Serge is that, obviously less and less we're doing the no, Serge, don't shoot it.
Yeah.
But I feel like he gets one in the paint first, and then now all his other shots are coming in rhythm.
Yeah.
Right? They're not like he's standing there and he has to think about it, or he has to like up fake and drive and make a play. Like, it's just
The one that
react.
he did, I think, was the first 3 which kind of, I think it got them going near the end of the first quarter is when Kyle kind of dished it to him.
Yeah.
And did that nice little pretty 3-way passing play.
Yeah.
And Serge was just wide open for the 3. And that's kind of what got them going. I think that might have got them the lead on that 3. I'm not sure, but that was.
I forget who it was that hit the
But
three
you
that gave
remember
them
it was
the
a
lead.
nice
Yeah,
little
yeah.
3-way pass. Yeah.
So here's a quick stat from Eric Kareen, who says Siakam shot 66% from the floor on that trip, or
Wow.
just 8 percentage points worse than Serge Ibaka. Let that sink in. That is a great stat. Again,
Yeah.
for those not taking that in, from Eric Kareen, Pascal Siakam shot 66% from the floor on that 4-game road trip, or just 8 percentage points worse than Serge Ibaka.
Wow. Serge Ibaka had a big,
That's crazy production.
big road trip.
Crazy production
He
from your
deserves
frontline guys.
All the drinks tonight.
But I did see a stat where it said that the difference between, and I might be a little off in the percentage points, but essentially what it said was coming into tonight's game, Serge Ibaka was scoring, or no, he was taking 40% of his shots at the rim this year, as opposed to just 22% of his shots at the rim last year.
And again, it's the being at the 5 permanently.
Exactly.
We talked about this before. With Siakam being at the 4 now and playing so good, and it's given Ibaka more time where he's comfortable. He can play closer to the rim, and he's just shining.
These guys have played great. One thing that, if there is, I don't even want to call it a negative because it doesn't really matter, but Kyle Lowry finishes with 8 assists, under 10 for the first time in 10 games. He still has 29 more assists than anyone else in the NBA
Really? Wow.
this season, any other player this season. So, that's one of those things where it's like stats, they matter, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, right?
He knew he had 8 assists. But
Hey, JV missed a couple chippies.
Exactly,
right?
he did. JV's buying the rounds tonight.
Right. So we talked obviously about who we thought the MVP was in Kawhi Leonard, again with 25 points, 11 rebounds. We handed our X Factor to Pascal, who had a big game with 21 points on 8 of 11 shooting. But another thing I want to ask you, which I think is a thing going forward we should do each and every time out.
Yep.
What did we learn about the Sacramento Kings? When you look at that team, what did you take away from watching the Kings tonight?
They're quick.
Very, yeah.
They're good. They got second and third year players, but Fox and what's the Wally
Buddy Hield.
Yeah, Buddy Hield. But what's the other? Their center is Wally Cauley.
Oh, Willie Cauley-Stein.
Willie Cauley-Stein.
Kentucky's own Willie
He
Cauley-Stein.
played well, and you said that too. He played
did.
well. Yeah, but Fox and Hield.
It's a great backcourt.
Yeah, Hield's what we're saying. That's who they traded for DeMarcus Cousins. So at least they got something in that, because I don't think the Pelicans really got much value out of Cousins for that year that they had him, or a year and a half.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're quick. They're good. They could use a veteran or two, but they're not there yet. So I guess they're taking this 6-5 record and kind of running with it. But they'll get back down to earth. But seem fine by me.
You know what? What I take away from the Kings is, for the first time in a long time, I think they actually have pieces. And I know they had DeMarcus Cousins, who's a piece, and they couldn't really build around him.
Yeah.
But I think Fox is a solid, like the jump that he's made from last year to this year. Yeah, they're gonna get Bogdanovich. He's gonna be back in the starting lineup shortly. You'd assume.
Shumpert will be gone. Yeah.
Yeah, because that was a funny thing. I said to you, I was like,
Yeah,
wait
what
a
is
second. Oh
he
yeah,
doing?
Shumpert. That's
Yeah.
so random and weird, right? But I think they got a good young team, and Jaeger's a good coach, right? Like,
Yeah.
the way that he uses the fact that he has this young, very fast team, and they get out there and run and play defense and extend their defense so that they're playing full court defense. I think that's so huge, and it's just a different take on what you see normally in the NBA. So that was kind of refreshing to see. To me, if I look at their team going forward, Bagley's got to get more minutes. He looked really good in the little bit. He only played 25 minutes, but he should be starting.
Yeah, I agree. I think he will. By the end of the season, he'll be getting 30, 33 minutes.
His game just looks
He was the
polished.
second overall pick. Oh, yeah, he's a good big man. He could hit the threes in there. Yeah, he played good, but he had 13 points.
13
5 or
points,
something.
yeah.
They got 3, 4, maybe even 5 good pieces.
I would go forward with Fox and Bagley. That would be my thought. Cauley-Stein. So the interesting thing for people that might not be aware, I'm pretty sure he's heading into a contract year in the offseason.
And he wants the bag.
He wants the big bag.
He's
And he
not
said he's
gonna
just
get
out
it
here
from
for
Sacramento.
his stats.
Yeah.
And he's putting up stats.
He is, yeah.
But I'm not giving him big boy
No.
money, not in this NBA. So
No.
he can get that bag somewhere else if I'm Sacto.
Yeah,
I'm gonna stick with Fox. Because I liked Fox all the way from when he was in college
Kentucky.
at Kentucky. I was super impressed by him. He's just a gamer,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
The same way that you mentioned, the way that he looked at Kyle Lowry and he was ready for that matchup, I'll never forget, going back to NCAA, there's a big-time matchup in the tournament when he had to play against Lonzo Ball. He wanted that smoke from the get-go.
Yeah, he's very competitive. You could tell.
He dominated Lonzo Ball and just
A lot
like
of people do,
destroyed.
but, yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like he
Then,
took that
yeah.
matchup, he took that challenge. Like he wanted
Yeah.
that. And I think that's a key thing where we talk so much about stats, but that sort of thing is like the intangibles that people talk about that you can't measure. There's no stats for, but I want that guy on my team.
Yeah, I was most impressed with him for sure.
Sacramento's going to be okay. I mean, they're not ready for the playoffs.
Well, they're
or
in the
anything like
West
that.
too, which is hard.
Yeah.
They haven't been good in a while,
But
they're on the right track.
Definitely on the right track. I mean, not as much on the right track as the
the
Raptors.
Raptors.
But then again, who is, right?
Nope.
Toronto
No.
Raptors leading the Eastern Conference again with an 11-1 record after a 114-105 win in Sacramento to close out their 4-game road trip. And the
4-0.
Raptors now will be heading home. First game at home will be on Saturday
Against the Knicks.
An afternoon.
3 p.m. game.
Afternoon matinee. And of course, as always, we will be there for you to wrap things up on the Wrap It Up on Blast Postgame
Right
Show.
after, just before the pre-drinks on your Saturday night.
You know, have a drink.
While you're getting
watch
ready,
us, we'll let you
put
know
it
what's
on,
going
exactly.
on. Yeah. Talk you through everything that happened. So, Mike, let the people know where they can find you on social if they want to get some more of your Raptors takes, maybe find out what's going on with you, you know?
It's your girlfriend's favorite bus driver here.
Yeah.
Mikey. You can find me at MikeBello_6 on Instagram. Add me up. Just a little couple takes and selfies and a couple pics, but
your normal
nothing too
Instagram
much.
stuff.
My normal Instagram stuff. But yeah, find me, add me up.
I hear you. And again, you can find me. Shout out to all the people that are in the Instagram live feed here, sending questions and comments. We appreciate you joining us live because, again, it's after 1 a.m. on the West Coast, on the East Coast.
On a Wednesday.
And on a Wednesday, people got to wake up early in the morning. So we appreciate you staying with us, joining with us, asking questions, comments. Appreciate you. Again, if you ever want to do that, we're on Instagram at Sheldon Alexander. You can find that feed. And, of course, the main feed where you can look at something other than my ugly face, as I like to say. That is on Twitter at Shell Alexander. Tune in. We're here after each and every game, and we got you covered if it's too late for you because it's West Coast. We understand. Got you covered for your commute to work the next day. Or maybe you're bored at your desk at work and you need something to listen to. Got you covered. Just go to iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, and search On Blast Podcast. Podcast is there for you. It'll be up for you in the morning. And of course, special shout out again to the YouTube,
the community.
Yo, the comments, some interesting conversations in the comments.
Definitely,
so
we're
keep
talking
that
about
up.
it.
Yeah, keep that up. Keep that coming. And if you're ever looking for the videos on YouTube, we found that you just have to search Wrap It Up on Blast. And all the videos will come up. Enjoy, like, and subscribe. Join the conversation.
Yeah, we do this like we said because this is just a special year for the
Yeah.
Raptors, and we're sitting talking about this is everybody's show. This is all the viewers typing in the comments on YouTube. It's a community that we haven't had anything like this in a very long time
For sure.
for the Raptors. So this is special. Everyone comments, questions, anything you got. This is perfect segment.
For sure. And like I want to emphasize something, right? Like I'm not a host. I'm not a person that talks on TV. I'm just a dude that likes basketball.
Yep.
And we decided that conversations that we would be having anyways about the Raptors after games, we're just going to record it. Talk into a mic, put up a camera, added some lights, and allow you to join in because the more people in on the conversation, the better.
Yeah.
Raptors fans, we're here.
Show the Raptors that we got their back.
Yeah.
This is a community.
As you said, this is the biggest season in Raptors history. And so far,
living up to the hype. 11-1, baby.
Still can't believe it. 11-1. Hopefully it keeps going. Can't sleep on the Knicks though, because you can't have letdown games, right? Got to just keep coming.
Nope. The
So
crowd
again-
will be rocking at Scotiabank Center.
Exactly. So again, thanks for joining us. As always, my name is Sheldon Alexander, and like I like to close all of these podcasts with the wise words of the man Meek Millie. I really did used to pray for times like this to rhyme like this. This is the Wrap It Up on Blast post-game show. Oh, sorry. What's that say? Oh, someone. Sorry, I got distracted because there's someone here that just says, "Don't stop doing this, y'all are dope."
Oh.
That caught my.
We ain't
I thought
stopping,
it said
people.
I thought it said something else, and that's what made me stop. But no, appreciate the love. Thank you for the shout out. And
Peace
you know
and love,
why? 'Cause
people.
the truth is, I really did used to pray for times like this to rhyme like this. This is the Wrap It Up, Ball on Blast, Raps post game show. As always, unpolished and unapologetic. Until next time, see ya.
Peace.
Don't forget to tell your friends.
On blast.